Davis, and I'm caretaker for the Grace Hudson Museum Wild Gardens. And I'm here today to talk to you about native grasses. Native grasses were very important of the California ecosystem. We have lost 99% of our native grasslands. Most of the grasses that you see when you look around at the hills are actually what we call here colonizers or non-native grasses. The native bunch grasses were important because their roots go very, very deep, not like the shallow, mostly annual non-native grasses. Those deep roots sequestered carbon. They act as a sponge in the soil. They allow percolation of water and hold in that water and prevent erosion. They were also great, some people don't realize, but they're actually host plants for butterflies and moths, or certain species of butterflies and moths. They allowed spaces between for the growth of California native wildflowers, because most of them actually have a bunch form. This is actually a rush, but this is the type of form that native grasses, many native grasses, but not all, would have. Most native grasses are perennials, but not all. Many of the non-native grasses are annuals, but not all. And we do have sedges, rushes, and grasses in the native gardens. And the way to tell a sedge from a rush from a grass is by saying sedges have edges, and this is a sedge, and you can see it's got a very sharp edge. And rushes are round. This is a rush, and you can see it's very round. And again, these are generalizations, not all rushes are round. And grasses are hollow, clear to the ground. And this is a grass, and well, you probably all opened a grass, but you realize it's hollow in the stem. This grass is common in our garden, and it's a creeping wild rye, or Lamus triticioides. It does not have the bunch grass form. It sort of spreads out and grows fairly tall like this. Another grass that we have in the garden is this meadow barley, this very dainty looking, which is actually related to this not very dainty and very annoying non-native foxtail. We have purple needlegrass. This is actually our state grass, and you can see these seeds are kind of needle-like, and this is one of the few native grasses that the seeds actually kind of get stuck in your socks. Mostly the native grasses are very polite and not hard on your socks. We have June grass, which kind of buzzes out. These are early in the garden. Our turf is actually mostly Agrostis palens and bent grass. That's what it's called, bent grass. So it's actually a native grass that can be mowed as a turf. And then here under the oak, we primarily have this tall Elamus glaucus, or wild blue rye. It's one of the easier grasses to identify because it tends to grow tall like this. And we also have a California brome, which most of the seed has shattered now. But these were great food plants for indigenous people because they were easy to harvest, had nice big seeds. You can imagine all the food in native grass meadows from the grasses themselves and also from the flowers that were there. It was just a big garden that was actually cultivated by indigenous peoples. There are some other nice grasses around the corner here. This grass with very dainty leaves, vine stem leaves, is an Idaho fescue. And this grass that's kind of short growing with these stems that come up is a California oak grass, or Danthonia californica. And an interesting thing about this grass is that it actually makes seeds in the stem. Let's see if I can find them. You may have to take my word for it, but it forms, and that enabled it to survive if it had heavy grazing on the top that removed the seeds, or even a quick fire that would, okay. There are seeds in the stem. You may have to come to the garden to see them sometime, but sometimes they're easy to pull out than others. Well, that was one. Sorry, that's what we're going to see today. Over here in the Black Oak area is California Melic, Melica California. It has these beautiful glooms that persist after the seeds drop. And that's most of the grasses that we have in the garden. Next we'll do sedges and rushes on a different day. Thank you.